today's lecture. I just want to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. My channel would not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. And do not forget to mark your calendar for June the 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do a lecture I'm going to go into behind the scene information on sharing with the world on many things I do as a content creator to continue to grow my YouTube channel. Let me just take a quick look at my business plan real quick. My YouTube channel has been monetized going on 3 years. In January 2024, I earned the YouTube Silver Play Button Award. In August of 2024, my channel became eligible for major brand deals. And as a content creator, that's where you begin to see the return on your investment in terms of your paycheck every month from YouTube when you start getting those brand deals. So mark your calendar for June 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be ready to get down to business. So the focus of this lecture is going to be, do not be just money driven as a reason to become a content creator. Or as a reason, if you are trying to get monetized and you're not monetized, don't let money be the primary driving force in terms of wanting to become a monetized content creator, or don't let money be the primary driving force, even if you are already monetized, and don't let money be your primary driving force to continue as a content creator. And let me tell you why. Because like I said, my channel has been monetized going on 3 years. But one of the number one primary reasons to not be money driven on anything, but in particular as being a content creator, because it really does, you got to have a higher purpose for wanting to be a content creator. You got to have your YouTube channel needs to have a mission, goals, and objective behind your channel, which requires developing a strategic business plan. You cannot just be money driven, because if you are money driven, you're not going to last, and you're not going to stay around long enough to put in the footwork. And trust me, at the stratosphere my channel is at right now, I still today, as a content creator, do a tremendous amount of work behind the scene as a content creator in terms of research, many of my topics, preparation. But if you're just money driven, you're not going to be willing to want to put the footwork in, the blood, sweat, and tears, the behind the scene to develop and to cultivate and to nurture your channel. You cannot just be money driven as a reason to become a content creator, because most importantly, if you're smart and strategic, any content creator know that whatever amount of money you make as a content creator on a monthly basis, my revenue I make from my channel as a content creator, that's between me and my certified public accountant. But I got enough sense to know and have the mindset, I do not base my livelihood, people, off my YouTube paycheck. I retired from state government September of 2023. I'm also military, so I'm gonna get a couple of pensions for the rest of my life. So whether I get paid from YouTube or not, that is not going to stop Marie Holiday livelihood. That is not going to stop me from being able to continue to invest into my financial portfolio. That is not going to stop me, whatever amount of money I make or don't make from YouTube, that's not going to stop me from paying my bills every month. Real talk. So you cannot just be money driven as a reason to want to become a content creator, because most importantly, that money you get every month can fluctuate. It can go up and down. But however, your bills ain't going up and down. There are certain bills as a full-grown adult we all must pay, rather it's a mortgage or your rent, your light bill, your car note, taking care of your kids, your car insurance, and the list goes on and on. So if you basing your livelihood off a YouTube check and you got a certain amount of bills that must be paid on a monthly basis, You can't tell your mortgage company or your financial stakeholders, I'm waiting on a YouTube paycheck to pay my bills. You're behind and end up homeless. That's one of the primary reasons you should not be money driven as a reason to become a content creator. You should have a higher purpose. And one of those purposes should be is to publish content that's educational, inspiring, thought-provoking, useful information to the rural people. This is real talk. That don't mean just because you want to be a content creator, you're behind, quit your job. Or that don't mean just because you want to be a content creator, you don't go out and get a job. No, whatever amount of money you make as a content creator, and this ties into the biggest reasons why you should not just be money driven. Whatever amount of money you make as a content creator, if your channel is monetized, you should only view that check from YouTube every month just as another stream of income. That's it. My YouTube checks, I just reinvest the money. It's not like I'm waiting on the YouTube check to pay not one of my bills, people. So that's why and what that does is, because I'm not dependent, I'm not money driven behind of being a content creator. One of my purposes of being a content creator is to share my knowledge and experiences, skills to the world with thought-provoking, motivational, inspiring, educational information useful to the world. I have a strategic business plan, not just for my YouTube channel. I have a strategic business plan with goals and measurable objectives with projected due dates. My strategic business plan, this is just one of my business plans, well over 30 pages long. I have a mission, goals, and objective for my YouTube channel. That's the driving force behind my channel in terms of the reason why I selected to be a content creator. And another critical reason why you should not be money driven as a reason to become a content creator, because what if, imagine for a moment, and this can happen, what if you violate one of those community guidelines and YouTube shut your channel down? And now, because if you were just solely money driven and basing your livelihood off of that YouTube check and get your channel shut down, world, let me tell you what happens when your channel gets shut down. Your money gets shut down. You get no more money if your channel is shut down. So if you was just all money driven and basing your livelihood off that YouTube check and your channel gets shut down, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to pay your rent, your mortgage, take care of your kids, the light bill, water bill, car insurance, food, gas, and everything else? How are you going to sustain yourself? Real talk. That's why if you're going to be, there's nothing wrong with being a content creator, but that whatever amount of money that you make as a content creator should just be another stream of income. But most importantly, your primary reason behind being a content creator, number one, make sure your channel has a business plan. Make sure you have a mission, goals, and objective, the driving force behind your YouTube channel. Make sure that as a content creator, your ultimate goal is to impart positive, thought-provoking, uplifting, useful information to the world. Rather, it's a short live stream, podcast, a lecture, or I do a various of different types of published content. Travel blogs, when I'm traveling abroad to see this world, I do limited live footage to share that knowledge to the world. Then I'm going to turn the camera off so I can enjoy the remainder of my guided tour. I may do a coffee short, but you better believe every published content, I have well over 7,700 published content. All of my content is positive, uplifting, thought-provoking, useful, educational, published content to the world, which ties into the number one primary reason of me being a content creator. Whatever money I make or not make as a content creator, that goes with the territory, people. But that's not my primary driving choice or reason for being a content creator. Because your YouTube channel, another reason why you should not just be money driven, because your YouTube channel as a content creator, the channel is going to outlive you. So you're leaving your legacy. So there's so many reasons why you should not be money driven as a content creator. And another important reason, because again, it is a lot, well, I can speak for myself. There is a tremendous amount of work I do behind the scene to continue to cultivate and develop and to nurture and to grow my channel. And if you're just money driven, you ain't gonna last, because you ain't gonna be willing to put in the work that it takes to develop and to cultivate and to nurture your channel, to get it to whatever level you want to get it to get it to whatever financial point you want to get it to whatever amount of watch hours you want to get it to, of views, of subscribers, of members. You ain't gonna be able to continue to do the work and the sacrifice, and the blood, and the sweat, and the tears, if you just money driven. Because I'm gonna tell you something, you ain't coming up on these platforms and thinking you're gonna make a whole lot of money quick and fast. My channel, June of this year, will be 5 years old. My channel is close to being 3 years being monetized, and I work harder now than ever as a content creator to sustain the growth of my channel, in terms of getting brand deals, in terms of getting whatever amount of money I get every month from YouTube, in terms of views and watch hours. I work harder now than ever before. Because most importantly, and number one reason that I can continue to function at this level, because number one, I am internally driven, people. I don't do easy. I've never in my life done easy. And I have a higher mission, goals, and objective for my channel, and I'm guided by the Spirit. Because whatever money I make, the money will come. And whatever money I don't make, it don't matter, because I don't base my livelihood off a YouTube check. So again, there's just so many reasons as a content creator that makes good business sense why you should not be money driven as a reason to be a content creator. You should not be money driven as a reason to want to get your channel monetized, and you should not be money driven as a reason to continue to cultivate, develop, and to nurture your channel. Real talk. You know, there are so many content creators, and if I was to do a poll and ask 10 content creators the thought-provoking question: do you have a strategic business plan on paper with identified goals and measurable objectives, action steps in the middle of that business plan that link to the YouTube goal, and on the far right of your strategic business plan with a projected due date, a projected date that you are going to complete each goal, YouTube goal, you have indicated on your strategic business plan. Your business plan is a living, breathing document. You should be looking at this business plan, touching this business plan, revising this business plan to your YouTube channel. If I was to ask 10 content creators right now, do you have your strategic business plan in Word document and also in a binder in relation to your YouTube channel? And are you revising this business plan on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and on a monthly basis exclusively for your YouTube channel? And I would be safe to say all 10 of them would probably say, most likely would say no. What do you mean a business plan, a strategic business plan on paper in relation to my YouTube channel with mission, goals, and objectives exclusively for my YouTube channel? Because if you don't have a strategic business plan in place for your YouTube channel, you are setting yourself up for failure. If you don't have a strategic business plan in place for your YouTube channel, how are you going to measure the progress of your YouTube channel? And many people ain't willing to do this. Why? Because they're just mainly focused on, I just want to make a whole lot of money. But I'm telling you, if you ain't got this in place, you are setting yourself up for failure. Real talk. So again, share this information in regards to why, as a content creator, you should not be money driven as the reason to being a content creator, or as a reason to wanting to be monetized. Real talk. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.